A wonderful day and a warm welcome to yet another new video. Today we've got the BMW 1 Series. I think it's an E81, or rather the E81. The E87 is, I think it's the 4-door or the 2-door if I remember correctly actually. Anyway, it's the N47 engine code, built in 2010, producing 105 kWh, a 2-liter diesel overall. In total indeed, as already stated. And specifically it's about the gearbox. The 6 HP 19Z transmission, also the 5 HP. There's supposedly a 5 HP as well, which would indeed most likely have 5 gears overall in this particular case. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission, and we want to go ahead and change the transmission fluid on that one. Filter oil. And yeah, we've also got the whole setup right here laid out and ready to go. The oil filter's in here, sitting right in the pan, positioned neatly right there, just like that now. That's why there's always a separate pan. And the proper transmission fluid filling station, I guess you'd call it, to fill and pump automatic transmission fluid in here and make as little mess as possible, keeping everything nice and tidy, just like that. Buy link. Everything's down in the video description. If the description isn't there, simply head over to XXL Automotive and you can easily grab it right there. Important. There are matching adapters for this gear oil so you spill as little as possible and can fill it cleanly and without hassle. We've got those too, available right here. We've already done it on pretty much every BMW. It's actually made for Toyota, but it fits in there really, really well. And you can constantly see whether there's oil or not. When the engine's running, you can keep pumping away without spilling. There's no need to hold your hand up and have it all run down on you anymore at all. But it's really hard to set up sometimes. I hope XXL is working on a simpler adapter. We'll probably use that. We've already done the 8 HP gearbox on the F07, F11, F10. What other videos did we do? The BMW 4 Series, those are the vids. Basically, we've already knocked out all the BMWs with it. Important, of course, to get the right ATF so you don't cause any damage. Also, make sure to run it warm, get the gearbox up to temp, and yeah, otherwise, it's a pretty fiddly job at times, requiring patience and a careful, steady approach so you don't make a mess or rush anything. Take your time, work steadily, and don't hurry the procedure. A slow, methodical pace prevents mistakes. That careful, unhurried approach pays off with fewer errors and a neater finish. All the important purchase links are down in the video description. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Oh right, I wanted to show the pan. Yeah, because some people ask, do I need it? What do I need the automatic transmission oil pan for? Because here's the thing, the filter is in there. That's why you replace the whole pan and not simply the oil itself, really, honestly. Because it all runs through there. Basically from down here, out here, following that exact same route, really. And there are brand new magnetic discs installed on it. Then we can take a much closer look and carefully check exactly how many metal shavings it's actually got. Because you're supposed to, the recommendation is every 10 years or 160,000. How do you change the transmission oil on BMWs? A lot of people still get mixed up and keep saying that BMWs of that particular series or model year come with a so-called lifetime fill or something along those lines, really, you know. What does that mean? Lifetime fill? I mean long life oil, actually, but not our human life, the car's life. A car's lifespan is generally set by BMW, or some at 160K kilometer or 10 years. So we're replacing the whole thing. Yeah, I'd say, oh, and one important thing, you'll need a diagnostic tester if you really want to do it properly, for sure. Why? Because the automatic transmission fluid shouldn't be above 50 degrees or below 30 degrees, since that can mean you end up with too little or too much fluid in the transmission when you fill it. It genuinely makes a noticeable difference. Whether you put cold or warm oil in, because it also expands, that's why it's important to have the right temperature, ideally between 30 and about 35-40 degrees, when you should change and fill it. Another important point for different setups, I don't know, I just saw ZF's instructions for the 6 HP for the first time. But with the others, it was like, if they have an automatic transmission oil cooler, like this one has two, I'll show you. You're supposed to do a trial run beforehand, and then after you change the oil, take a test drive so the whole system fully bleeds out and basically refreshes. It circulates, and then the thermostat in the automatic transmission opens up too. Anyway, it was the 8 HP. Then check the transmission oil level again, making sure to recheck it for the 6 HP that wasn't in the manual. So for you guys, we'll go ahead and do it like the manual says, but just to be on the safe side, take it for a test drive so it gets over 75 degrees, then let it cool down again, and then check the transmission oil level once more carefully, just to be completely sure. Don't want you ending up with too little. Just as important is to catch the old oil, see how much you drained, and check how much you refill. Why it's not the case for the 6 HP now, I can't tell you. For the 8 HP, you're supposed to get it up past 75 degrees C once, then cool it back down to about 35 degrees, and then check the gearbox oil level again. I'd say, let's go. Here you can see if you have an automatic transmission oil cooler. So if the lines come off here, they usually go to the automatic transmission oil cooler. Here we've got the drain plug, we're replacing the pan, and here's the fill plug. Okay, let's go ahead and unscrew this and let it drain. We'll use a 10mm Allen. So with a T40 Torx, we can adjust everything properly. Now loosen it, please. Now. Okay, thanks. You probably shouldn't use an impact wrench for this. It's better to do it carefully by hand so you don't accidentally shear off the bit, since these tend to corrode here anyway. So that's what it looks like then. It's all metal residue, everything's covered. So we'll clean this up here and thoroughly degrease the whole thing as well, making sure it's properly wiped down and left thoroughly clean throughout afterwards. That's it for today. We're all finished for now, so we'll wrap things up and just call it a day right now, indeed. The screws are torqued to 12 nanometers very precisely. Then we'll go ahead and open this up now, okay? Put adapter on. The adapter fits well. Sometimes you really have to actually lower the gearbox a little bit further down to be able to screw it in because the hose is really too thick. And then, of course, screw it tight again so it's straight and securely fixed. So we've now got that properly on there. Now go ahead and put this one on as well. Okay, open it up. All right then, now we will fill it up. We fill the whole thing until it's completely full and the oil runs back out by itself. We now total up 7L. You can also see that, for example, this one's still empty. As you can see, the oil's running back quite slowly. We're now at about 4.5 liters. I still have approximately 3.5 liters remaining at the moment. We're almost completely full now, so we can keep on pumping continuously the entire time if desired, because that's basically the correct fill level now. So we need to start it up and cycle through all the gears once, leave each gear engaged for 3 seconds, and we can keep pumping continuously while we do as we go along. So there's absolutely no risk of it running low on oil, and let it keep running steadily until it reaches about 40 degrees or so. By then, please do. Yeah, go ahead and start it, switch through the gears, and the oil's gone right away, completely, for sure, really. We can pump it back in, just run the pump and force the oil back into the system so it fills up properly again and settles into place and evens out throughout. Don't worry, you can't put in too much. Any extra will just run out. Honestly, once again, that's still too little. That's enough now. Now the excess is running out. Are you going through all of the gears? Put every single one of the gears in now. Theoretically, we can shut the valve and just bring it up to 40 degrees now. Let it idle, get it to 40, and then we can top it up afterward without rushing at all, really, seriously now. But what I'd recommend right now is bringing it up to 40 degrees, checking the oil level to make sure everything's okay, taking it for a short test ride, getting it up over 75 degrees so the oil cooler kicks in, and then checking the fill level again. We'll just let it warm up a bit longer for now. Give it a short while more. We've now reached 30 degrees on the gauge. Now we'll go ahead and top everything up once more. And now we'll let it run out. We've opened it up. The excess is steadily draining out at the moment as we speak, right now, really. The excess is draining out. Now we need to unscrew the whole thing just once. And screw the stopper back in. And now just let everything run out at idle until it's only just barely still dripping. But really do watch the temperature. It really shouldn't be running. It should only be gently trickling. Just let it drip now, please. Thanks. I'll double check it anyway, since we're still going to take it up to 75 degrees. And then I'll check the fridge again. The screw has now been tightened to 35 Newton meters. And that's it. Yeah, like I said, it's really not recommended to run it over 75 degrees, the gearbox, not the engine. So get a tester for that and keep a close eye on the readout at all times as you work. And when checking the oil level, always make absolutely sure it's between 30 and 35 degrees, or generally between 30 and 40. That's the optimal oil temperature to perform the check. That's it for the moment. Let's take a closer look. So write in the comments below if you have a BMW N47 engine and drop a quick note down there, please. All right, that's pretty much about it for now. I'd say see you next time. Bye for now, folks.